to learn a little bit about what the Unicorn Children's Foundation does. Our organization envisions a future where all children, regardless of their abilities or their challenges, has an opportunity to flourish and reach their full potential. And we really feel that it's the community's obligation to make a community that's going to allow their potential to flourish. So at Unicorn Children's Foundation, we work really hard to create cradle-to-career initiatives that help children and young adults with special needs excel in their community. We do that by connecting families to resources, by advocating for inclusive opportunities, respecting differences, empowering individuals, and supporting success. And if it wasn't for our donors and like-minded individuals who share our belief that every child deserves an opportunity, we wouldn't be where we are today. Currently, 1 in every 6 children is diagnosed with some form of developmental or learning disorder. The numbers of children are continuing to grow. They have great strengths and abilities that we actually have an opportunity to learn from them as much as they have an opportunity to learn from us. You're going to have a guest speaker tonight who's talking about one aspect, but these children, we all travel a very similar journey to get to where we are today. These children do the same things. They have a very similar pathway. Theirs might be a little more wavy. They might need a few more services and supports. But if we focus on their strengths and abilities, we can create a community that's supportive enough that they can actually have a productive and meaningful life. We do everything from the early identification and intervention up to a specialized high school, the Unicorn Village Academy, that focuses on community integration. We have parent coaching scholarships to teach parents really necessary skills on how they can help their child develop critical milestones through a child's everyday routine. Now we're looking at employment options. We're going to be starting a project search program at Boca West Country Club that is a pre-employment internship program where the students, instead of going to school, are immersed all day long in a work site with typical mentors and managers providing the coaching. So we're creating some natural supports. And then we're currently in the process of a campaign to open Special Perks Cafe, which will be a special art that provides employment and vocational opportunities for individuals with special needs. So if you guys know of any locations where there's a coffee shop going out of business, we're certainly interested in that. We haven't identified a location because we're only halfway to our goal. So it's really, I'm thrilled that you guys are here to learn more about what we're doing. And at this point, it is my absolute honor to present our guest speaker tonight, Kathy Anderson. She's a member of the Special Needs Advisory Coalition of Palm Beach County. This is an organization that we founded where we brought together over 375 individuals representing over 160 agencies to talk about how do we create a more collaborative community that creates a comprehensive plan of care for individuals as their needs change over their lifespan. We convene on a monthly basis. We've done a community needs assessment, and we have about 7 or 8 different task forces that are working on priority initiatives that our community said were serious gaps. So with that said, Kathy is the proud mother of a 23-year-old son, and I just want her to be able to share her perspective with you. And we thank you for making the trip down here, and the floor is yours.
As Sharon said, my name is Kathy Anderson. My son Michael was supposed to be with me today, but unfortunately he couldn't put his tent. So I'm very typical of a parent that has a child and they're about maybe 1.5, 2 years old, and you start realizing they're not keeping up with their peers. And Michael was our firstborn. My husband and I have been married about 7 years, so he was born in 1994. And we asked the typical child find for a full evaluation. That was our first experience of someone knowing the resources that are available in the community and connecting us. And so as I talk today just briefly, what I really like to stress is, first of all, just a little bit of our background, but my interaction with Unicorn and then the Special Needs Advisory Coalition, and how I dragged my husband to like a 3 hour presentation where I met Sharon, and then what's really gone on from there. And I'll start by saying that if someone has a child with a disability, really more so than any time in history, this is one of the best times to be alive if you have a disability, because there's so many resources and support. And what's going on here in Palm Beach County is absolutely amazing. And we can thank Unicorn and all of the professionals that are part of the Special Needs Advisory Coalition and many others that have done so much research over the years that are bringing it all together. So, as Sharon mentioned, Michael's 23. He's actually going to be 24 this next month. It's a little bit about Michael. He loves history. He loves history. He works in Publix part-time. He's part of a program at FAU, and anybody can ask me about it because I love to be an advocate. I'm such a cheerleader. I'm an owl. Cheerleader for the FAU Academy for Community Inclusion. Because when our son was 2 years old and started all of his therapies, it was almost like a year behind, and he's like 2.5. I'm like, how do you have a 2.5-year-old? And my husband's a teacher. I've been a teacher in Palm Beach County since 1986. How do you have a child who has a disability that you weren't even aware of, and he's almost a year behind? So all that to say, we were told maybe he wouldn't read. You know, he has difficult time with math. He reads at a 3rd or 4th grade level. Can't tell time. Executive functioning things are hard. He doesn't have autism. He's been tested so many times that they've expanded that spectrum, but he does have those related disabilities. Very socially engaging. And he loves to learn. And ironically, even though he has an auditory processing disorder, his primary mode of learning is auditory. And so he loves to listen to lectures. So the FAU Academy for Community Inclusion has been great. If anyone wants to ask me about that, I'm very open to that. So Michael is the oldest of our 3 sons. So we have Michael, who's going to be 24 next week. I have a son who's 22, firefighter in Martin County, and then I have an 18-year-old that attends Palm Beach State College. He works the business that was named after Michael because we thought Michael would be working the lawn maintenance, but Michael's so busy with working at Publix and school, and also now volunteering at the Jupiter Lighthouse. Unfortunately, that was a position that was opened up from some of the connections that FAU Academy had, and they knew he had an interest in history, and it's been a great fit for him. So here, I wrote these down because I didn't want to forget, but here's the kind of questions that parents, we think about all the time. And so when I think of Sharon and the work she does with Unicorn and the Unicorn Academy, and any of the family members that are represented here who have family members, especially the parents though, here are the kind of questions we have at every single stage. How do we help our child? For us, how do we set our son or daughter up for success in life? What does that mean for him? How do we build a network of support? How do we tap into the resources around us, both public and private? It's kind of where a little bit what I do on a daily basis intersects. I am a financial advisor with Morgan Stanley, and I've been in the insurance industry. Wanted to help people more on a general sense with planning, and really tap into public resources that our kids are deserving of having. But how do you protect those public resources while also leveraging the private resources that you have? How do you pass on, and even nice family members that want to pass on something to your kids, but wait a minute, you want to protect those public benefits, because without the public benefits, there are many services that our kids would not have access to. But really importantly, who is going to love our child? And who's going to take care of them when we're no longer here? Especially for me at this age in life, and especially if anybody's lost a parent, you think more about your own mortality. And when I lost my mom, this causes you to think more of that. And so that's one of the reasons why when we sat and listened to the year-long study about what the county's doing right, what the county needs to improve on, and when they broke up into all these different groups, the housing in the whole area of transition, but in particular the special needs housing, was of interest to me, because I wanted to be able to set Michael up for independent living where he wouldn't be a burden on his brothers. Now his brothers love him, but we know his brothers have their own life, and they're going to hopefully get married someday, and they're going to have their kids, and what can we as responsible parents do to help set our children up for success? That's a huge complicated area. And that's just one of the things that the Special Needs Advisory Coalition is doing. Like I said, when we came to our doctor and we had a question about Michael and his development, it wasn't until we went to another doctor who knew how to connect us to the right resource. And that's what the work of the SNAC, as we call it, does. That's what the year-long study did, is it really identified those areas of whether it be the early intervention, whether it be on the opposite spectrum, the transition, including how can we help. Like we have one of our subcommittees is on advocacy. You know, we as helpful parents try to get over involved, and that's one of the things that I'm learning as a parent of letting my son advocate. So even like, okay, he's sick and now he has to call Publix. First person may not fully understand what he's trying to say. Okay, he's sick, he has this, he's not going to be able to come in, what needs to be done? And it'd be really easy for me to say, okay, just hand the phone over to me because I'm going to make it clear what is actually going on, you know, so he doesn't get in trouble or lose his job. But that's one of the areas is the self-advocacy, and these are all things that through this year-long study and through the leadership that Unicorn has provided, I can tell you you're not going to get the number of entities together on a regular basis, and I've never been a part of something, and I've been a part of other boards and organizations, but to continue this conversation on and really make strides in areas of employment, make strides in areas of the housing. We had a housing summit. We're preparing to do our second housing summit at the L Center of Excellence, where we had hundreds of people come from all over the country, and we're planning our next one because they're parents just like me that are saying, okay, what do you exactly mean by this supportive housing? We have the county commissioners as part of that conversation now. We have investors that are saying we want to be part of it. Oftentimes it's because they may have a child who has a disability and they want to be able to help their child and others like them. It could be collective groups of parents, but that's why we decided, you know what, we needed to have the housing summit and we need to get parents connected with each other. So it's the service providers, both on a public and a private level, it's parents, it's individuals with disabilities. So if you have a connection to any one of those and you're here tonight, which I'm assuming you do, please encourage them to come and check out. And we have such a welcoming committee. Yvonne is there and Amy's there, and we have so many people and board members, yes, but they come to this Special Needs Advisory Coalition that meets once a month, usually Children's Services Council.
Third Thursday.
I just know it's always on my calendar. You're so great with emailing. I follow them on Facebook. I share it. It's a very lonely journey when you're a parent with a child with a disability. And also you think about the amount of just the statistics with divorce, and now since sometimes you have two households raising a child with disabilities, sometimes one parent will just say, they're gone, they're out of here, they just can't handle it. We need the collective involvement, and all I can tell you is Palm Beach County, Unicorn, SNAC, so many organizations that are part of that, Agency for Persons with Disabilities, the L Center of Excellence, there's so many on a daily basis, vocational rehab that actually pays the scholarship as well for my son to be at FAU that are part of this. It's incredibly resourceful. So if anybody wants to ask me any questions, I'll be around here. Please feel free. If you want to be tapped into what's going on even at FAU or the Housing Summit, just feel free. Sharon has my contact information, Yvonne. I'm happy to help. And I thank you. And I have to say, one of the neatest pieces of news that I found out was how the Wyndham off of Glades Road is hired an individual with disabilities and is training them where they want to work. And thank you for that incredible opportunity there. And just so if you're an employer, thank you for giving our kids a chance. Way to go. That would be literally one of the highlights of my life.
So as more and more children, and we're getting out with the outreach, we're reaching out to more businesses, more industries to really create that cradle to career pathway that open doors to opportunities. In fact, you're with Wyndham?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. And the Wyndham Deerfield Beach is also interested in exploring some employment opportunities. So I think it's really just opening the doors and giving our kids a chance. And again, with the statistics statistics show that when you do diversity inclusion, the businesses benefit. You know, there are tax benefits. You get dedicated, loyal employees that are not taking breaks and on their cell phone talking with, you know, socializing. They're always at work because work is their access to life. So there are great opportunities. So we can't do this alone. We need the support of the community, and I want to take the opportunity to introduce Lisa Keeler. She's our new Director of Development and Engagement, and we have a new campaign that you will all be the first to hear about tonight. So I'm going to hand it over to you.
Welcome everyone. I'm so glad to be here. So we're starting our campaign tonight. It's $1 a day, and it's from cradle to career. So it's helping every single aspect from early diagnosis all the way through to placing young adults in jobs. And it's so incredibly expensive to do this, and it's so, for most families, it's unaffordable. So Unicorn will absorb the costs for over the years as they're helping these families get through these different milestones. And so this campaign was really created so that it could be affordable for everyone to help. You give $1 a day, and it was going to make a huge impact. It was going to be an ongoing campaign. We really want to raise about $500,000. So it's going to be something that's going to be ongoing at every event. We're going to be asking, you know, people to really contribute and to be a part of it, because it's really a nominal amount for us, but it makes a huge impact on our children. So I'm going to pass these around. I hope everyone will sign up. You can do it in different ways. You can do it once, you can do it daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or just a one-off gift. All right? So I guess I'll get them passed around.
And then, well, you can't help her yet, Jalissa, because we can't help her right now. We want to thank Jalissa for agreeing to chair this event tonight and bring all of you together. We have a small token of our appreciation. And also to announce that she will be chairing our gala. It will be a Motown themed gala. Motown theme. Motown. We're going to get down. All right. And I'd like to thank Claude, Marco, Lilo,